What you see here is a prime example of the hell most urban dwellers suffer every day. Congestion. Congestion occurs when the volume of traffic creates a demand for space that exceeds the existing street capacity. It occurs when traffic demand is high enough that contact between cars reduces the pace of the traffic stream. That said, it seems to reason that road expansion would be the answer to congestion, such as by adding more lanes to an existing route or by developing new roadways. The idea is that installing more lanes or a new road can help with traffic flow in a particular region. The additional lanes should boost the roadway's ability to carry more people. Almost all road expansions and new highways are marketed to the public as a solution to alleviate traffic congestion. After all, it is a simple enough argument. And certainly, it makes sense to anyone that's caught in traffic. More lanes offer more capacity, which means cars should be able to get through quicker. Simple enough, right? Unfortunately, over 7 decades of data show that this particularly never occurs. The idea that roadway expansion alleviates congestion operates under the assumption that vehicular volume will be constant even after roadway expansion. But what really happens is that the number of drivers soon grow to meet the additional capacity, and traffic congestion once again emerges in full force. This is known as induced demand. These additional drivers likely lived nearby before the expansion. They may have used other forms of transportation, traveled during off hours, or not traveled at all. They adjusted their behaviors as the traffic became better. Perhaps they even moved farther from work since the time cost of their journey decreased. Initially, shorter travel times or the impression of shorter travel times encourages drivers to modify their behavior. A person may opt to use the new highway toward a more distant supermarket with lower prices. Journeys that were previously feasible by bicycle or public transportation may now be more appealing by motorized vehicle. More distant leisure and commercial prospects may suddenly appear to be worthwhile. Overall, these decisions put more vehicles on the newly expanded road a lot more than ever before, increasing vehicle density and greenhouse gas emissions. However, because of them and others like them, this euphoria is short-lived. This makes sense when you consider that the primary limitation to mobility in crowded areas is congestion. The question is not whether or not roads will be clogged during rush hour, but rather how many lanes of congestion you intend. This phenomena has long been extensively known. According to decades of data, each new kilometer of roads built will normally be 40% filled with new traffic straight away and fully packed within 4 years. Induced demand doesn't only apply to cars. It is a multimodal phenomena that affects motor vehicle traffic, public transportation, cycling, and even walking. The premise is that when roads are expanded or faster public transportation is provided, individuals opt to make more journeys or go farther than they did previously. Nonetheless, the fact that induced travel demand tends to operate against the planned efficiency of newly created roads or mass transit does not preclude the development of new transportation infrastructure. The need for new transportation cannot be overlooked. Instead, planners must consider induced travel demand when determining what kind of new transit are required. At the same time, they should utilize transportation demand management to ensure that shifts in one mode of transportation are effectively balanced by shifts in another. And they should adapt land use plans to alter traffic as needed. Boosting road and street capacity is only one technique for reducing congestion. In reality, as previously discussed, road construction may not always be the optimal plan, since it might generate enough additional traffic to use all of the increased capacity. An alternate solution would be to enhance public transport, which not only eliminates traffic from roadways but also allows commuters to avoid driving in traffic jams. It makes sense in many regions to improve cycling and walking settings, especially because roughly 25% of automobile trips are less than 2 kilometers long. Making it easy for individuals to cycle or walk over short distances enhances quality of life, public health, and property values. While there are very few countries and cities who have already understood how induced demand works and have actually embraced other strategies besides roadway expansion, engineers and politicians never seem to grasp the lesson of induced demand. Unfortunately, even decades after induced demand has already been discussed and proven, still, a paradigm shift is overdue. Additional lanes entail more traffic. We should all acknowledge that. No amount of new road construction would ever reduce traffic congestion since the more roads are built, the more people drive. Expanding highway capacity is unlikely to reduce congestion. It just won't. Perhaps then can we start to change our thinking away from car-centered policy and understand that the answer to congestion revolves around the idea that instead of working to mobilize motorized vehicles, we should be aiming to move people. Thank you for watching.